Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Golden Goal Show. Welcome to Season 5, Episode 11. I hope you all had a lovely weekend of watching some lovely football. There were some games that were battering in on the football pitch. So, yes, it was exciting, exhilarating, and it was horrific because there were some boo-boos that happened to some players. Not the best, but everybody, welcome to the show. Watching on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, whatever you want to watch it. We are on Telegraph. You know Telegraph? I don't. I'll start chatting right now. But everybody, let me first introduce you to my co-host on the show, who is a fan of Atletico Madrid and also a fan of everybody. How are you, Mr. Paulinho?
Yes, I'm all about that positivity, I'm great. How are you, host?
I'm doing decent, mate. I'm doing decent. Lovely football we had this weekend. Also, another guest on the show. Let me introduce him. He is here with me over at my place in Chicago. He's a fan of Bayern Munich and no Premier League sides except at West Ham. How are you, Mr. Typical German guy?
I'm doing pretty well, and I'd like to go on the record and say that no, I'm not a fan of West Ham, only Bayern.
But you are a fan of Bobby Throbby and Van der Boom.
Ja, ich liebe die Niederlande.
Okay, yep, sure. That's a safe thing to say. All right. Well, everybody, lovely stuff. Let us go into the first segment of the show where we talk about breaking football news and the top breaking football moments that happened this weekend. So first, breaking football news is indeed about Mr. Shrek. Just kidding. Breaking football news. Wayne Rooney's inspires comeback of the season as Plymouth climb out of championship relegation zone. If you didn't already know, Wayne Rooney is currently the manager for Plymouth. And yeah, Wayne Rooney's men miraculously fought back from a 3-0 down to salvage a point in a thrilling 6-goal thriller at Home Park on Saturday. The Devonshire outfit have now moved out of Luton into 21st spot, having ended their run of 2 consecutive defeats. Plymouth looks to be heading to another horror show following a 5-0 thumping at Cardiff and a subsequent 1-0 defeat on the road at Millwall. The host fell behind the 16th minute following Sam Greenwood's opener, with Mads Fredrik Jensen doubling Preston's lead in the first half stoppage time. And yep, Red Pots put a visitor 3 times, good 3 minutes after the break. Writing seemed to be on the wall for Plymouth. So yeah, I mean, basically this is about Wayne Rooney, who's currently the manager right now of Plymouth. And yeah, he's doing decent now, taking them from relegation zone to a little higher in the table. So, I mean, shout out to Wayne Rooney. I mean, I know his managerial career wasn't the best when it came to DC United and MLS, but it looks like he has something going for him in Plymouth. So, hey, shout out to him, and I hope he does well. All right, Paulinho, got just 1 or 2 words about Mr. Wayne Rooney.
It's good to see. It looks like things are taking a turn for the better. I know his last job he didn't do the best as well. I can't remember. It might have been the Derby job.
Yep.
But yeah, it's good to see him turn things around.
Okay, lovely stuff. And Mr. You, typical German guy, what do you have to say about Mr. Wayne Rooney?
As a player, he was an absolute machine, joy to watch. Made United such an exciting club over the years. But I have to say, I think in terms of his managerial career, I don't really feel like it's ever going to take off. I feel like he may have some minor success with the club here and there, but we'll have to see if he can develop any consistency in his resume. But I would recommend to Rooney that before he start doing club level, maybe he keep his mouth shut, off the pitch. Because he tends to say a lot of things that have nothing to do with his managerial career that I feel like I've kind of tarnished him a little bit. So maybe just focus on developing an identity for himself. Maybe using something he learned at United and bringing it to another club and seeing how things work out.
And don't go to United because, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, but yeah.
Okay, nice. Actually, honestly, no. Let's be honest here. I would love Rooney to go to United just because I want to see what kind of a circus it turns into at that point.
Let's not talk about that. Okay, well, yes, Wayne Rooney, we wish you the best, as typical German guy just said.
That'll be some great television there.
That'll be some. The memes would be. The memes would be.
Amazon Prime series that season. Okay. Lovely stuff. Thank you, everybody, for that awkward silence. All right, going on to the next news. So, breaking news. Oh, I love this one. Snoop Dogg reveals plan to invest in special championship league after Wrexham inspiration. So yes, iconic Drop It Like It's Hot artist had a long association with the sport, even turning up to the 2024 Olympics in their equestrian gear this summer. Earlier this month, news of singer Rihanna's partner rapper A$AP Rocky's interest in League Two Tremaine Rovers emerged. Now it's Snoop that wants to follow in Wrexham owners Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds' shoes and invest in a British football club. An inclusive interview with Daily Record, Snoop Dogg really named Calvin Cardozo Brodius Jr. Oh, that's a interesting. I never knew that was his name. Admitted he wanted to invest in a Scottish Giants Celtic. He said, "I love what Ryan's done with Wrexham. Just a great story." Okay, I can't do Snoop Dogg. I need to get more bakes for that. But investing in a sports team has been something I have been looking at for a long time. If the chance came to invest in Celtic, it would be crazy not to take a look at it. I have watched so much football, he said soccer, in Europe, but I have never seen fans like these Celtic fans. There is something so special about them. There is a reason why the fans are talked about across Europe. The best players and the best coaches in the world tell you that there is nowhere like Celtic Park. Okay, that makes sense. I want to be a part of that. Interesting. Okay, I mean, I don't know if it has to do anything with the greenery of the the badge and the greenery of the whole stadium and just atmosphere. But yes, Snoop Dogg, you know what? Shout out. Why not? Why not? Honestly, why not? All right, Mr. Typical German guy. Got one or two words about Mr. Snoop Dogg.
Honestly, I'm shocked that he didn't invest in a club in the Netherlands, particularly Amsterdam, because it's right up his alley, and those fans are just as crazy, if not crazier. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see him involved in football because it feels like he's just good at everything when it comes to marketing and advertising. So who knows? We'll have to see what happens. But somehow Snoop in football just makes sense. I don't know why. I mean, I know he's not someone who's played as a kid or anything, but like I said, I mean, we saw him during the Olympics, and he killed the advertising portion of that. Every part of it was hilarious. So, the only downside I will say is we already have so much of American ideologies and culture moving into Europe. I don't know if I want to see any more, but it's not really it's out of our control. So I guess see what happens. Might be entertaining.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, mate. Also, you, Mr. Polino, got one or two words about Snoop D-O-double-G taking on Celtic, possibly.
I mean, that's not the route I expected him to take. Like, I agree with typical German guy, that Amsterdam would work perfectly for him. I mean, they basically advertise each other, and I would have loved to see that. For some reason, I don't see Snoop Dogg and a bunch of proper British people.
British. Proper.
Yeah, some proper Brexit lads. I don't see them being on the same page.
Yep. Lovely stuff.
Wait till they start putting banners for Snoop Dogg at the club.
You know what? I like it. Drop it like it's hot. Lovely stuff. Okay.
Drop it Snoop like it's hot. That's what they're gonna say. Or yeah.
What'd you say?
Like it's hot. Sack him like it's hot, or drop him like it's hot.
Yes, I like that. Yeah. Crazy. All right, on to the next news. It is indeed about, oh my god, this is spectacular. So, breaking news, what VAR official was really looking at as his FPL accusation goes viral during the Arsenal versus Liverpool match. A picture of the hub for Arsenal's clash against Liverpool went viral on social media on Sunday night, with some fans thinking a screen showed an official playing FPL Fantasy Premier League while at work in the VAR box. But now it's been reported that it was a Premier League match manager app, is regularly used by the VAR hub, not football Fantasy Premier League. And they said this is a Premier League match manager app, not Fantasy Premier League. There are, of course, no personal devices in the VAR hub. The personal game match officials limited have been under the spotlight once again over the last couple of weeks. And yes, in Arsenal 2-0 defeat in Bournemouth earlier this month, the body assist that Howard Webb had nothing to do with William Saliba getting sent off after VAR review. This was despite the TV cameras showing him looking at his phone during the decision. Oh no, okay, well, if you looking on the screen, if everybody's watching right now on YouTube or on Spotify, if you just turn your phone and just look at the screen, you can watch it right now. Yes, it does look like Fantasy Premier League, but I mean, whatever they want to say, I guess it's Football Manager app. I've never heard about that, but interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. All right, Paulinho, you got 1 or 2 words about the VAR for the Premier League doing Fantasy Premier League.
I think it's perfectly valid. They probably got some bets going on between them. So honestly, I wish they were more open about it, and I hope that more of this comes out, and that all the refs end up playing Fantasy Premier League. And I want to see where they're ranked. Actually, I want to see where their average rank is. They got to be helping themselves out a little bit. But I'm also I'm 1 point behind you, so you better watch out.
Oh, I haven't checked that Fantasy Premier League in forever. I don't know what I'm doing. Wait.
Yeah, me neither. I only just checked it when you brought it up.
Lovely that. Cheers. All right. Okay, typical German guy. You got 1 or 2 words about the Fantasy Premier League and what the officials. I don't know what the hell is happening.
No, I remember when you told me about this yesterday, and I thought you were joking with me. And to tell you the truth, the fact that the Premier League has responded so quickly with something so almost random tells me that maybe they realized there was an issue of him having his phone out during the match, because I don't see why you would need the app, right, to look things up and whatnot. Because, at some point or another, the referee is going to already have a note of all the players, who their names are and everything like that, right? So it sounds to me a little bit too logical and sensical that, oh yes, they use this app during VAR, which maybe that's why VAR makes mistakes, because they're on their phones half the time. But it's definitely not good for the PR image of the Premier League as a whole that they have their phones out during these matches, because sure they're not on the field making the decision live, but at the same time, they're supposed to be paying enough attention that if there is an error of some kind that they catch, they're supposed to be alerting the official, right? So
yeah.
Like I said, if you were to summarize it into one sentence, it's just not a good look for the PR of VAR in the Premier League, especially after some of the decisions of the past year. So
fair enough. Okay, well, thank you, Premier League, for making everything interesting. On to the next news. So next news is indeed about the man with the eyebrow. So, breaking news, Carlo Ancelotti under huge pressure at Real Madrid as the club given orders to land top target to replace him. There's a chance the Italian may not be given a chance to answer the amid reports by Los Blancos are honing in on his replacement. Ancelotti's side were on the wrong end of a 4-0 thrashing at the hands of the biggest rivals on Saturday, courtesy of Robert Lewandowski double, as well as strikes from Lamine Yamal and Rafinha. Real Madrid barely had a sniff at goal, while English superstar Jude Bellingham deployed in an unfamiliar position at right midfield, prompting the Spanish press to question Ancelotti's tactics. What made the defeat more humiliating was the fact it took place at the Santiago Bernabeu. Oof. Interesting. Typical German guy. You got 1 or 2 words about possibly Real Madrid sacking the man who made them even better. It's crazy.
Truthfully speaking, it would be absolutely insane to me. Not just because of the obvious, which is that they've done so well in previous seasons under Ancelotti, as well as prior to that with La Decima and everything else, but just the simple fact that who are they going to choose, right? Like who would they be able to choose this moment in time that really has a solid identity and solid playing style that's going to fit the Madrid squad as it is at this moment in time, right? Because the reality is, they're still in competition in Champions League. They're obviously still in Copa del Rey, and they also, they're what, 7 points back from Barcelona right now, something like that, which isn't great. It's a pretty good gap. It's still 2 games, but it's so early in the season and everything. So if Madrid ends up sacking him, it's going to come back to haunt them because again, what manager is going to want that position? Madrid of all places in the middle of the season. No self-respecting manager wants to start in the middle of the season with a club that big. They want to have time to prepare over the summer and everything else to develop that squad. So, if anything, hope the only good thing I could see being good out of this is if Ancelotti finally decide to start playing Guler, because I feel like if they start him in midfield a little more often, I feel like they'll have greater success because he's so creative and so good on the ball. So
Fair enough. Okay, Paulinho, one or two words about Los Blancos possibly dropping it like it's hot on Mr. Ancelotti. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with some of that. I mean, I'm not sure who on the market they would rather have than Ancelotti. Uh, um, I wouldn't be surprised maybe if next year maybe they give Zidane another call or something like that. And but yeah, otherwise, like I'm not really sure what they want to do with the team. They do have quite a few number 10s in the team, so I could see them maybe wanting to play with like a 4-2-3-1. But otherwise, I can't. I think that's like the only change. Maybe someone that plays a 4-2-3-1 would make some sense, but otherwise, I don't see much changing, to be honest. Because they have quite a few number 10s, and a lot of them don't have a spot in the squad, or they play right wing and they're not going to start over Rodrigo. And since they don't have a central attacking presence, and Rodrigo is right-footed, they don't really have anyone drifting in those inside areas behind Mbappe, even though Mbappe likes to drop back sometimes.
Yes. Okay. Well, hopefully this doesn't happen. I mean, we'd hate to see it. He's such a legend of a manager. All right. On to the next news. So, next news is an interesting one. Why Dan Burn only has 9 fingers? Gruesome reason, Newcastle hero is missing, a digit after childhood accident. Okay, trauma, lovely. But as his crunching tackles and dressing room dances keep him in the spotlight, many fans have surprised to find out that the Magpie's 6'7" Colossus is actually missing a finger. Totally bit my finger. The spotlight has been shown on Burn. He's sealed his 13 million move away from Brighton to his boyhood club in January 2022. The 32-year-old instantly installed himself as a rock in the back for Eddie Howe's Newcastle, making over 100 appearances for the club. However, every time Burn appears on television screens, the same question continues to surface from fans watching at home. Burn is closing in on his 500 senior career games, but surprisingly, the story has nothing to do with football for his finger. According to reports, the former Fulham striker, without his ring, oh my god. According to reports, the former Fulham star is without his ring finger, following an accident that he was involved in as a teenager. Back when he was just 13, Burn was wearing a ring while celebrating a fence. While climbing a fence. Why did I say celebrating? While climbing a fence when it caught a spike. Ugh. The gruesome incident led to his finger being ripped off, which must have been a horrific moment for the youngster. Okay, that poor. Oh my god. Thanks. Okay, Paulinho, 1 or 2 words about Mr. Dan Burn and that interesting fact. Oh, wow.
Fun fact: I also am missing a finger.
Righty then. Where? Okay. Fantastic.
I'll show you next time.
Okay. Got that, mate. Get him? His typical German guy? What? You got 1 or 2 words about this?
I was going to say that has to be one of the most random things I've heard in a long time.
I know,
around
right?
the Premier League that in a lot of ways is so non-football related, right? I guess maybe people just didn't notice it before because he's a center back and not a keeper, or something along those lines. But It's just very strange to me. But hey, I mean, I'm sure it has its advantages in certain areas of life. So good for him.
Okay.
That's a good point, actually. What if there's a keeper that's hiding a missing finger under their glove, and we don't know about it?
It's
Yeah.
Emiliano Martinez probably just has a metal bar instead of a finger. You never know.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Fingertip save, but it's actually a metal bar.
Oh, politics.
Yeah, cheating.
Okay,
Cheating.
fantastic. All right, on to the next news. So, next news is indeed, oh my gosh, Manchester United reached a verbal agreement with Ruben Amorim as Eric Ten Hag replacement as Portuguese set to treble wages. So yes, Amorim is United's top target after sacking Eric Ten Hag. As reported on Monday morning, the club are willing to pay compensation for his successor. Yes, so it understands members of the United hierarchy sounded out Amorim last week as the Sir David Brailsford met the manager and is aiming to tie up the appointment swiftly. It's understood that Amorim will more than treble his salary by joining Manchester United. Amorim currently earns 2.5 million a year as a Sporting Lisbon boss. Sources close to negotiations say that 39-year-old, oh wow, he's young, was demanding a contract for 7 million a year, with negotiating West Ham in the summer and is likely to command even more by replacing Ten Hag. But yeah, interesting stuff. That's nice stuff. Yeah. Yes, Eric Ten Hag was sacked amidst the loss to West Ham United this past weekend. So, yikes, big yikes right there. Yes, Paulinho, 1 or 2 words about Eric Ten Hag being sacked.
No words about that, but I do love the Ruben Amorim signing. I think he's at the very least like a top 3 option on the market that they could have gotten, if not even top 1. He's done a lot of stuff with the Sporting side over the last few years and pulled out some big results like the wins against Arsenal in the Europa League. I can't think of any other specific results, but I know his playing style is really effective. And he's gotten he's done a lot of good for Sporting and really helped turn him around after they had that one incident on the training ground where a lot of the players got attacked and a lot of people didn't want to go to Sporting. Everyone left, and he's kind of helped them come out of the rubble, and it made them even better.
Okay, thank you, mate. Mr. Typical German guy, we got 1 or 2 words about Mr. Eric Ten Hag being sacked. I know you wanted to talk about this.
I was just going to say, I mean, it's sad for neutral fans because it just made the United game so entertaining because you just never knew who was going to show up, whether it was going to be a side that looked like they'd be in contention to take on some of the bigger clubs in the Premier League, or if you were looking at Burnley and Red. I mean, it certainly provided an element of surprise to the games. And, you know, people want to blame Ten Hag for things that are going on at United, but I think at the very core, that club has just been rotting for a while, and unfortunately, he's the obvious scapegoat because he's he's the gaffer and everything. But I'm definitely interested to see how things change under the new management to see if they start playing better. But at the end of the day, the harsh reality a lot of football fans don't seem to remember is that your manager can come up with as many tactics as he wants. He can drill the players as much as he wants, but at the end of the day, it's really down to the players to do well, right? Because a manager can inspire, but the manager can't go out there and play for the starting 11. So I think, truthfully speaking, I think what we're going to see is we may see a different style of play, maybe a different identity that United has, but it's just going to be the same problems over and over again. Lack of identity eventually and lack of results. So I don't think it's going to change a lot. If anything, I think it's going to show that United's problems again are at the core of the club and have a lot less to do with the managerial position. Because the reality is they've gone through so many over the years and nothing's changed. It's been the same shit over and over again, right? So,
yeah. Well, we can only hope the best for Eric Ten Hag to wherever he goes next. I really hope he goes to manage Real Madrid. That would be amazing. All right. Well,
yeah, I agree with what you said about the core of the club, and I think that's why they failed with Ralph Ragnick, because he wanted some control in the club and their transfer policy and their overall style of play. And once they heard about the control he wanted, they just pretty much got him out. So, yeah, there's something going on there.
Well, and Ralph Ragnick, honestly, like you said, is a perfect example because look, he goes to Austria, and starts employing the Gegenpressing, and they're playing great. Austria, I mean, in the Euros was great. Austria now in the Nations League is also playing well, and I mean, the players are thriving under his management. And so, at the end of the day, like you said, it's not the manager. There's clearly something else going on in that club. And truthfully speaking, if they really want to start with their squad, they got to do an overhaul. They need to get rid of the old heads, the guys that really are just taking up space and, quite frankly, don't have the pace to keep with the Premier League anymore. And just do what United did in the beginning under Ferguson. Just focus on developing youth. And no, it might take a year or two, right? But that's at the end of the day, it's going to be the formula of success for this club is keeping a couple veterans like Fernandes and Delict, whoever else you want to throw into the pile there, and focus on developing some new players in those positions, and realize that it's not going to be a quick process. It's going to be arduous. It's going to suck, but at the end of the day, the end result is that hopefully they'll be better in the next few seasons. So, because they're not going to recover this season. There's no way. I just don't see it happening. So,
Nope. Okay, but yeah, we can wish the best to Manchester United. All right, on to the next news. It's indeed about Vinicius Jr. makes Ballon d'Or vow in his 11-word post after Rodri beat him to the prize. Well, if everybody didn't already know, Rodri, the Spanish international who plays for Manchester City, has won the Ballon d'Or. Congratulations to him. Yes, so the Real Madrid star was hotly tipped to be crowned the champion, but finished second behind Manchester City midfielder Rodri. Real Madrid did not send any representatives to the ceremony in Paris on Monday night amid rumors that Vinicius Jr. would not win. Instead, they reportedly spent the night in the Spanish capital as Rodri went on to become the first Premier League winner in 16 years. However, Vinicius Jr. only appears motivated by the result, as he took to social media with a defiant message shortly after the result was announced. He said this, I don't speak... Oh, it's in Spanish. Okay, thank God. I'll do it 10 times if I have to. They're not ready. Well, yes. Interesting. That's very interesting. So I guess that's just him saying that I'm gonna do it again 10 times more. I'm gonna be nominated second in Ballon d'Or 10 times more. I don't know. Okay, well, yes. Vinicius Jr., shout out to you, mate. You're still such a class player. So, yeah. Paulinho, you got 1 or 2 words about Mr. Vinny Jr. saying that he's gonna do 10 times more?
Well, hopefully he goes on to have a lot more success, but I don't know. I mean, Real Madrid, I don't know about them like sitting out the whole ceremony and kind of protesting it and boycotting it.
Yep.
That seems really extreme. It wasn't like a runaway for Vinicius. It's not like he was the clear winner and no one else was close to him. I'm not sure if Bellingham was that far off of him, to be honest, either. And then Roger is probably a similar level. I still think on the whole, like if you're not weighting the competitions, I think Vinicius was still probably the best, but he didn't perform in the major competition with Brazil. And in fact, he was one of the worst players for Brazil, aside from that one game. And then in La Liga, he was good, but he wasn't like amazing. Champions League is really where he was great. He wasn't good in the cup competitions. So yeah, I mean, I guess those are the points I have to make. On the whole, he was very good, but he was missing moments outside of the not even moments. I guess he was missing consistency in the league. And then yeah, in the Champions League, of course, he showed up, but in other competitions, he wasn't towards the top.
Fair enough. All right. Lovely. Typical Gemma guy. You got 1 or 2 words about Mr. Benny, possibly. Num num. If not, then what? Huh? Yo, what the hell is happening? Okay, I can't hear you with anything. All right. Well, that was indeed the breaking news segment. That was lovely. Now
Wait,
we can.
could you not hear anything I was saying?
Nope, not at all.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. I can make it quick.
Yeah, go.
I was just going to say that, Messi and Ronaldo had a ridiculous rivalry fueled by fans, social media, and every other media outlet on the planet for years and years and years. And yet those two, almost every single year, sat next to each other like men. And when the other one won, the other one was clearly upset, but they got up and they shook hands and they went on with their business, right? And to me, it's just ridiculously immature to boycott a ceremony because you're not going to win or you don't think you're going to win. I mean, in all seriousness, does he not think about the fact that if he had won and people found out he boycotted and didn't go because he didn't think he was going to win, how bad that would look for his public imaging? I mean, it's just wrong. Especially, it just shows how poor sportsmanship is in the game these days, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough, mate. Okay. Well, that was the breaking news for the football world this week, and let us now go into the next one, which is indeed the. I'm trying to find the soundboard. Where is it?
USA,
Oh, that's
greatest country.
Okay, well, going into now the top 5 leagues results. First league is the Premier League. Let's go down the standings. First place is Manchester City. Second place is Liverpool. Third place is Arsenal. Fourth place is Aston Villa. Fifth place is Chelsea. Down the table, 18th place is Ipswich Town. 19th place is Wolves. And 20th place is Southampton. Currently, the top goal scorers in this league is first Erling Haaland with 11 goals for Manchester City. Second top goal scorer is Brian Mbemo with 8 goals for Brentford. Third one is Chris Wood with 7 goals for Nottingham Forest. Great job for these 3. Matchday 9, let's get into it. Leicester City versus Nottingham Forest. 1-3 for Nottingham Forest. Great job for Chris Wood again, doing great stuff. Nottingham Forest right now not doing too bad, 7th place. Next match was Manchester City and Southampton. 1-0 for Man City. It was an interesting game, honestly. Southampton did have the chances, but Man City is Man City, and Haaland did score. On to the next match, Brentford and Ipswich Town. 4-3. What a magical game. This was a brilliant game. Red card for Ipswich Town being naughty, but it was 4-3 for Brentford. Yes, Brian Mbeumo scoring again. Great player, great time for Brentford. Next match was Brighton and Wolves. 2-2 here, 2-2. Yeah, Evan Ferguson coming back to score some more goals, and then Wolves again coming back to score a late goal, tied up, and oh my god. Talk about that in a second. Aston Villa and Bournemouth, 1-1. Decent match here, decent match. Next match, Everton and Fulham, 1-1. Yeah, decent. Fulham was winning, and then Everton came to tie it up. So yeah, decent point. Crystal Palace in Tottenham. Crystal Palace putting on the pressure as always in 1-0 in South London, making it even a greater atmosphere for Crystal Palace. So yeah, Mateta scoring for Crystal Palace. Great goal for him. Chelsea and Newcastle 2-1. Shaky times for Chelsea as always with defending, but decent for Newcastle as well too. Isaac scoring, but yes, it was Chelsea first that did strike with Nicholas Jackson with a great ball by Cole Palmer first to Neto, then Neto to Jackson. But then, yep, Newcastle scored, and then Chelsea came back with Cole Palmer scoring another goal. Such a brilliant player, making it 2-1 for Chelsea. Next match was West Ham United and Manchester United, 2-1 for West Ham United. Yeah, decent stuff from them. Manchester United just lacking in the finishing department. Could have, won the game much easier in the first half, but shots, they count. You don't score them, they count. Yep, 2-1 for West Ham. Next match was Arsenal Liverpool. What a great match! This was a great match. Oh, great match! Say it 3 times. 2-2. A draw here. But yeah, great stuff from Saka. Great stuff from Salah. Just an all in general decent game. Yeah. Okay. Well, anybody want to talk about any of the matches here? I mean, I basically kind of just did a little overview of all these matches, what really happened. So
the only one I feel like I could comment on effectively would be the West Ham Man United match. And the reason I say that is I'm telling you, it was crazy just how many chances United had to put that game to bed so early and didn't and failed to convert basically every single one of them until until a consolidation goal, if you will. Because I mean, it tied up the game, but West Ham was kind of controlling it a little bit at that point. So it's it's def- it's definitely further supportive of the fact that the Premier League really is one of the most exciting leagues on the planet in terms of its unpredictability because you just never know what's going to happen in the matches, and you know, makes every weekend a joy to watch, and just thankful for Saturday and Sunday football. So
Very true. Very true. Okay, well, Paulinho, you got anything you want to say about Premier League, or you just want to say who your favorite British artist is right now? I don't know.
I won't answer either of those.
Okay,
So I don't have any useful information.
that's okay. I think you're a useful person.
Oh,
All right. Moving on to the next.
You didn't have to say that.
I want to say it every day. Shout out from the
Okay.
rooftops. Okay, on to the next league, which is indeed La Liga. Let's go to the standings. First place is Barcelona. Second place is Real Madrid. Third place is Villarreal. Fourth place is Atletico Madrid. And fifth place is Athletic Club. Down the table, 18th place is Las Palmas. 19th place is Valladolid. And 20th place is Valencia, going down, sinking. Yikes. All right, let's say the top three goal scorers right now. First is Robert Lewandowski with 14 goals for Barcelona. Wow. Second is Ayoze Perez with 7 goals for Villarreal. Not too bad. And third is Kylian Mbappe with 6 goals for Real Madrid. Still at the top three. March 11, let's get into it. Espanyol and Sevilla. 0-2 for Sevilla, beating Espanyol at their home. Next match was Valladolid and Villarreal. 1-2 for Villarreal. Great job for Villarreal. Next match was Real Vallecano and Alaves. 1-0 for Real Vallecano. Currently in 9th place. Not too bad. Next match was Las Palmas and Girona. 1-0 for Las Palmas. Girona, red card as well, too, being naughty. Yeah, Girona not doing too good right now for the standards. Next match was the El Clásico, Real Madrid and Barcelona. 0-4 for Barcelona, battering Real Madrid in their own backyard. Ay. It was great stuff from Barcelona, from the defense, the midfield to the forwards, and yeah. Lewandowski with 2 goals, Rafinha with 1 goal, and Lamine Yamal, the young star boy, with 1 goal as well too. Yep, Barcelona just tearing apart. Next match was Leganes and Celta Vigo, 3-0 for Leganes, and yeah, great win for them. Next match was Getafe and Valencia, 1-1, a tie right there. Next match was Real Betis and Atletico Madrid, 1-0 for Real Betis. Atletico Madrid, that form, it is dropping like a fly. Yikes. We'll talk about that in a second. Next match was Real Sociedad and Osasuna, 0-2 for Osasuna. Yeah, decent job for Osasuna. Next match was Mallorca and Athletic Club, 0-0. And yeah, a red card for Mallorca being naughty. All right. We know what we want to hear. We know what we don't want to hear. Yes, Atletico Madrid. Mr. Paulinho, what do you got to say, mate?
I mean, I think the midfield lacked a lot of energy, especially with Barrios out, but Lamar's back now. He played like 15 minutes at the end of the game, and he actually looked pretty good. And the thing is that the midfield, without Lamar, or Barrios, basically there's no driving presence or no dribbling presence. DePaul drives with the ball, but he can't necessarily dribble around players. So they definitely need that threat. It's good to have him back. But other than that, the team just didn't look like it could create a lot of chances. Julian Alvarez actually had a pretty good game as well, I'd say. But aside from that, they just really struggled to put moves together, and they looked like they had so little intensity. And Real Betis was so high energy. A lot of their players had really good performances. Like Abde had a really good performance. Johnny Cardoso had a really good performance. Vitor Roque was pretty good and probably should have scored one, and Abde should have scored one as well. They could have put a ton past Atletico's defense, to be honest, but they were lucky to just keep it to one. Either way, yeah, I think Thomas Lemar coming back is probably the only good news from that game from an Atletico perspective.
Okay, fair enough. Mr. Typical German guy, anything you want to say about any of the matches? I know you did watch the El Clasico with me.
I was just going to say,
And I'll
I'm
talk about it.
Okay, let's all talk about it.
I was going to say, I was genuinely surprised how badly Barcelona dismantled Real Madrid. I mean, especially after they were up 2-0. I mean, Barcelona was just controlling the match at that point. And it really kind of felt like back in the MSN era where every El Clasico, Barcelona was just dominating possession. They were scoring goals. They were basically toying with whatever formation the Real Madrid manager managed to come up with. And it'll be interesting to see if this is a fluke or if this is something that's going to continue into the next Clasico and any other time that uh, Madrid and Barcelona play each other. But I have to say it was pretty impressive performance from them. And you can't help but get a little bit nostalgic about how Yamal plays and the celebrations he did to kind of taunt the Madrid fans a bit.
He
So
did the calma, but Ronaldo also did the Vinny dance. That's
right,
insane.
it was that to me was absolutely hilarious. I mean, maybe a bit immature on his side, but then again, he is only 17. So, but I think for me, the most shocking part of that game had to be just the lack of presence from players like Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinny, etc. They were just non-existent. There was no fluidity. There was no cohesiveness between the players. And you know what? Personally, I attribute a lot of that to the fact that Rodrigo was left on the bench. I have to say, I think he's one of the most underutilized, under-respected players in that Madrid side because he's not the flashiest, but his work rate and his ability to create things is completely unprecedented compared to some of the other players in the squad. So I have a feeling that if Rodrigo had played, the game would have been a lot different than it ended up being.
True. Polino, anything you want to say about El Clasico? Did get to watch little bits of it?
Yeah, I got to watch it. I mean, I think Mbappe is just struggling with his return to playing the striker position. After Neymar left, was it last season that Neymar he played without Neymar at PSG last season, right? So he played basically a full season at left wing. Maybe got a little bit of striker time with Barcola on the left every once in a while, but his main role last season was as a left winger, and I think now he's trying to transition back into a striker, and I think he's having a lot of struggles with it. So I think it could take him maybe even another few months to really get used to it, but I think it'll come for him. But yeah, I think that's what Real Madrid was also missing in this game. Like I think maybe Endrick could have been really useful, at least with the way that Barcelona was playing. You'd think that him being a striker, he'd be better at timing his runs in behind because Mbappe was almost starting at the end line with the defenders and then making the run off of them while the defenders were just backing off. And it looked like he wasn't quite sure where to position himself a lot of the time. And Barcelona, to be their high line, did such a good job with no one ever falling back out of place. So credit to them for that. But yeah, Mbappe's timing of his runs was kind of hard to watch for a lot of the game, along with some of the finishes from some of the guys. Like Bellingham had a pretty bad miss. Vinicius had a few bad
With his
ones.
PP.
Lewandowski's miss, I think he had two that were absolutely insane misses. But I was really surprised by Yamal's finish. I wasn't sure that he had that right foot on him, and
Same.
he showed me he did.
Yep, very true. Okay, well,
And
everybody,
what did you think about the game host?
it was class. Cool. Real Madrid should have done better. Poppy should have stayed on side. He was 007. 0 goals, 0 assists, 7 offsides. So, all I can say. All I can say. All right. Well, that was indeed La Liga. And let us move on to the next league, which is indeed the Bundesliga. First place is Bayern München. Second place is RB Leipzig. Third place is Bayern Leverkusen. Fourth place is Union Berlin. And fifth place is SC Freiburg. All right. Well, lovely. Let's go down to the table. For 16th place is FC St. Pauli. 17th place is Holstein Kiel. And 18th place is Bochum. All right, let's announce the three top goal scorers right now for the Bundesliga. First one is Harry Kane with 9 goals for Bayern. Second is actually tied for first is Omar Mamouche, the Egyptian, with 9 goals for Eintracht Frankfurt. What a star right now, currently Frankfurt. And third is Tim Kleindenst, is 6th for Bayern or Borussia Mönchengladbach. Nice to 8. Let's get into it. Every damn show I do Bayern Mönchengladbach and it's Borussia Mönchengladbach. I'm gonna get framed. Lovely. All right. First match is Mainz and Borussia Mönchengladbach. It is 1-1 there. Sad times for Borussia Mönchengladbach currently. Next match was RB Leipzig and SC Freiburg. 3-1 for Leipzig. Comfortable win for them in their home. Next match was Augsburg and Dortmund. 2-1 for Augsburg, beating out Dortmund, and a red card for Dortmund being naughty. Dortmund falling in form again, but Augsburg doing decent. Next match is FC St. Pauli, and Wolfsburg 0-0. Not much happening in that match, but still some shots. Next match was Stuttgart and Holstein Kiel. 2-1 for Stuttgart, and red cards for both teams because they both wanted to be a little bit frisky in the air. That's okay. Everybody loves that. And yeah, Stuttgart currently doing okay. Next match was Werder Bremen and Bayern Leverkusen. 2-2 there. Yeah. Leverkusen not losing. Yeah, so that's good. It's always good. They're in third place. Good for them. Next match was Bochum and Bayern. Little win for Bayern today. It was 0-5 for Bayern München. Just a little. Not much. Just a little. Yep, currently they're in first place. Big stuff. Next match was Union Berlin and Eintracht Frankfurt. 1-1. Yep, decent match. It was a tie for both, so decent match. Next match was Heidenheim and Hoffenheim. 0-0. So yeah. I guess I can ask the Bundesliga person here, Mr. Typical German guy. What's your thoughts on Bayern's performance?
I went ahead and watched some of the highlights because I missed the match the other day. I mean, I felt like they played well, but like I feel, like I've said multiple times on the show here, that to Bundesliga to Bayern fans doesn't mean anything. It's such a terrible metric to see how well the team's doing because teams like Bochum aren't gonna challenge a club like Bayern, right? Or at least in theory, they shouldn't. Of course, we thought that last season, and then that's how we ended up getting knocked out by Saarbrücken. So, it's one of those things where, again, like if Bayern was in a league as tough as EPL,
Yep,
you could honestly take the domestic matches and use it as a metric for how well the team's doing overall. But the thing is, Bundesliga just isn't like that, and so it's great that they win. It's great that you get results like this, and help. It's a good confidence builder for your strikers and your squad as a whole. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean anything, right? Because again, you go to Europe and the results have just been so bad and so inconsistent, and I just have a bad feeling about this season because that high press that company does works well in Bundesliga because a lot of these teams haven't really figured out how to crack it yet, right? Because a lot of these teams want to sit back against Bayern, and so the higher press and the high line works okay. But the second they come up against a team that is willing to run at them, willing to get behind them, and willing to try to play out of the back, they're going to have serious problems. And that's exactly what we saw against Barcelona and UCL. So we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes.
Okay, fair enough, mate. All right, well, that was, yeah, Paulinho, anything you want to say about Bundesliga?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the Werder Bremen against Leverkusen match.
Oh, okay. What'd you say?
It was a good match. I mean, Florian Wirtz had a good performance. I can't remember. I think Boniface scored the first goal. Really nice goal. Florian Wirtz kind of got it between the lines with a player on his back, turned and put Frimpong in behind down the right wing, and then he found Boniface in the middle. And then I think the best player actually of the match though was for Werder Bremen. I'm not sure if a lot of people are familiar with the guy, but Marvin Duksch, he used to be the strike partner for Nicholas Füllkrug at Werder Bremen when he was there.
Okay.
And he had a great game. He scored the game tying goal at 1-1, I want to say. And then I think Leverkusen went up through an own goal, and then who's the I can't remember the guy that scored the winner for Bremen, but
Jeremy
yeah,
Boateng.
Marvin Duksch had a really good game. He wasn't much of a goal scorer until Füllkrug left, and he really took that low down on his own, and he's been really good ever since.
Nice. Okay.
Also, another interesting stat I actually heard during the game. I forgot to say this. I think that I heard during the game that Bremen had the most away goals this season. But when they announced that stat though, they hadn't scored a single home goal all season until this game. So that was kind of funny.
That is interesting. All right. Well, now on to the next league, which is indeed the Serie A. But okay. First place is Napoli. Second place is Inter Milano. Third place is Juventus. Fourth place is Fiorentina. Fifth place is Atalanta. Down the table, 18th place is Genoa. 19th place is Valencia. And 20th place is Yes. All right, on to the three players that are currently the top goal scorers for Serie A. First top goal scorer for Serie A is Matteo Retegui. Is scored 10 goals for Atalanta. Great player right now, lighting up the scenes in Serie A. Second is Marcus Thuram with 7 goals for Inter Milano. Still such a great player. And third is Dusan Vlahovic with 6 goals for Juventus. Such a great striker as well too. On to match day 9. Let's get into it. First match was Udinese and Cagliari with 2-0 for Udinese and a red card for Cagliari being naughty. Next match was Torino and Como. 1-0 for Torino. Torino doing decent this season. But yeah, Como losing out on that point. Next match was Napoli and Nes. 1-0 for Napoli, currently in first place. Great job for them. Next match was Bologna and AC Milano was postponed due to the spiders that invaded the field. Gosh, those spiders. Next match was Atalanta and Verona. I was kidding. Atalanta and Verona. 6-1 for Atalanta, battering Verona. This was in Atalanta. But yeah, great job for Atalanta with, again, Matteo Retegui doing absolutely brilliant stuff for Atalanta. And of course, they have other players that are great. Mr. Lukman. Next match was Parma and Empoli. It was 1-1, a tie right there for both teams. Next match, Lazio and Genoa. 3-0 for Lazio, doing great against Genoa. And yeah, Lazio currently 6th place, doing decent. Next match was Monza versus Venezia. 2-2 right here, 2-2, and a red card for Monza being naughty. Yeah, both points for both teams. Next match was, oh my gosh, if you want to go watch some great highlights, watch this Inter versus Juventus game. It was 4-4. It was first 2-0. Oh no, sorry, actually it was 1-0 for Inter. Then it was 1-1. Then 2-1 for Juventus. Then it was 2-2 for Inter. Then 3-2 for Inter. Then 4-2 for Inter. They thought they won, but then no, Juventus came back 2 and another 2. But yes, great game here. It was such a great game. Next match was Fiorentina and Roma. Oh my god, we don't have one of our Roma guests on the show today, thank God. But it was 5-1 for Fiorentina, absolutely battering Roma. Oof, red card for Roma being naughty as well too, but Roma not looking good. Currently they are 11th place. All right, anybody want to say anything about the Serie A, or just say your favorite pasta dish, I guess? Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everybody. All right. Well,
I will say, what is my favorite dish?
okay.
I like a little bit of fettuccine alfredo. It's kind of basic.
It's okay.
whatever's interesting at Noodles, whatever pops off to me on the menu. But I watched the Inter game and I watched the Fiorentina game. And I have to say for Roma, it's the same every season. Like their team always looks like it's going to be really exciting, and then they just never deliver. They never live up to those standards anymore. They're not as good as they were in like 5 years ago. So that's kind of disappointing. I'm sure for our resident Roma fan. And then yeah, they just got absolutely battered by Fiorentina. Fiorentina's way better than them. Moise Kean scored a double, so that was good to see. That his career's not dead. Yeah, he's doing well at Fiorentina now. Definitely doing better than he was before. Yeah, Retegui, a lot of people were clowning him for starting for Italy, and now he's shown his worth. And he, contrary to Scamacca, puts in a lot of defensive effort. So I think that's really good for Italy, having a guy that's in goal scoring form and that can be a workhorse at the same time. And then the Inter Juventus game was just crazy. I mean, 2 really stupid penalties given away by Juventus to kind of just throw the game to Inter, and then Yildiz comes on and just basically takes the game back himself. So yeah, really crazy and wild game there.
Such a great player. Okay, lovely stuff. On to the next league, which is indeed the Ligue. Baguettes. We love that. Okay. First place is PSG. Surprise. Second place is Monaco. Third place is Marseille. And fourth place is Lille. And fifth place is Rennes. Traveling down the table, 16th place is Saint-Etienne. 17th place is L'Alvi. And 18th place is Montpellier going down. Not good things. All right. The top 3 goal scorers for Ligue 1 currently, first one is Bradley Barcola with 8 goals for PSG. Next is Jonathan David, the Canadian international, with 6 goals for Lille. And third, battering the goals, only the goals, Mason Greenwood with 6 goals and for Marseille. Yes, good job, Marseille. Okay, match day 9, let's get into it. Rennes and L'Alvi, first game, 1-0 for Rennes, and a red card for L'Alvi being naughty. Next match was Angers and Saint-Etienne. 4-2 for Angers. Great match if you're going to watch some highlights. For Angers, yeah, 4-2 for them. They're doing decent. Next match was Reims and Brest. 1-2 for Brest. Yeah, Brest winning away from home. Brest is always great, never lopsided. Yeah, good job for Brest. Currently 10th place. Yes, decent. Lens and Lille. The next match was 0-2 for Lille. Great job for Lille currently. They're in 4th place. Next match was Lyon and Alya. 2-2, a draw right here, 2-2. Yeah, decent for both teams. Next match was Nice and Monaco. 2-1 for Nice, and Nice doing decent. Not Nice, I would say, but decent. And a red card for Monaco being naughty. Next match was Montpellier and Toulouse. 0-3 for Toulouse, beating Montpellier in Montpellier. And a red card for Montpellier being naughty. Say Montpellier too many times. Yeah, sad times for Montpellier currently right now. Not doing great at all. Next match was Strasbourg and Nantes. 3-1 for Strasbourg, doing great things right now. Yeah, good win for them. Currently 9th place. Marseille and PSG was supposed to be a great game, but yes, 0-3 for PSG, battering Marseille in Marseille. And yeah, red card for Marseille being naughty as well. Anybody want to say anything about Ligue 1 or just say your favorite French player of all time?
I was going to say that unfortunately I don't know too much about this Farmers League. Not really into agriculture, but the thing about Ligue 1, at least for me, and my respectful opinion is that.
Wait. Sorry. My real laugh. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Very, very appropriate for Halloween. Anyway, I just don't feel like there's enough competition to watch that league. Especially now that, how many years has it been in a row that PSG, or how many times PSG has won in the last however many years? So it makes the league a little less exciting. Honestly, prior to PSG getting as much funding as they have, the league was a lot more fun to watch, but not so much these days. So, it is what it is. But the only way that French football is going to improve as a whole is if the league gets more competitive. So,
Competitive,
competitive.
competitive, all this stuff. Okay, on to
I have some
Yeah, go ahead.
something to say.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
my favorite French player is Griezmann.
Okay, fantastic. I didn't expect
on.
that whatsoever. Lovely stuff. Okay, let's go on to the next leagues, which is indeed MLS and Saudi Pro League. Nothing happened in MLS. Current, goal scorers for them is Benteke, on. Yeah, I definitely butchered that. Can someone help me, Bonega? Is that how you say it? No one? Okay, lovely.
Who?
And then
Dennis Bouanga.
Boanga. Wow, Boanga. I like that one. Then, yeah, Messi. Lovely. All right, Saudi Pro League. Currently, first place is Al Hilal. Second place is Al Ittihad. Third place is Al Nassr. Aldo. Fourth place is Al Shabab. And yeah, current top goal scorers for Saudi Pro League is first Alexander Mitrovic with 10 goals for Al Hilal. Second is Karim Benzema with 8 goals for Al Ittihad. And third is Cristiano Ronaldo with 6 goals for Al Nassr. Yeah, good job for them. All right, well, everybody, that was indeed the top 5 leagues. And let's now get into the next topic, which is the Ballon d'Or. Everything was announced, and we are all done and dusted. So what we first are going to get into is the Ballon d'Or top men's coach for 2023-24 was Carlo Ancelotti. No surprises whatsoever for him. Yep, such a great manager, especially for Real Madrid the past year. For the women's, it was the Ballon d'Or was Emma Hayes, which was for Chelsea. I mean, great to say the least. I mean, she's doing great things for Chelsea. I mean, she's done with Chelsea right now, but she's at the USA right now, so good for them. Let's go to the next subject, which was indeed the best goalkeeper of 2023-24 who won the Yashim Trophy. Who else would it be but Emiliano Martinez? The shithouse 3 we love from him, and just such a catching goal. So such a great keeper. He deserves it. Won it last year, won it this year. Next is the Kappa Trophy, which is the best youngster of the 2023-24 season. And who else to give it to? It was kind of clear a little bit. I mean, you could give some other chances, but it was Lamine Yamal for Barcelona, and the Spanish youngster just deserved it after scoring a goal this past Saturday in the El Clasico. But yes, let us get into now the Ballon d'Or winner for the 2024 season, 2023-24 season. It is indeed Rodri for Manchester City. The Spaniard has won it, and he's actually, as we talked about it, in 16 years, a Premier League player has not won the Ballon d'Or, and now it is Rodri. And he's still 28 years old, still has some time to him. I thought he was older. Sorry, he looks very mature, as typical German guy would say. But yes, he deserves it, and such a great player. And Vinny did as well too. Did great stuff. I'm not putting it past him. I still kind of disagree with the decision for Real Madrid to not go to the ceremony. But I mean, to one its own. I guess they didn't want to go, but it is what it is. So yeah, Rodri, congratulations. Anybody want to say anything else? I mean, I can go ahead right now. Actually, before anybody says anything, I'm gonna go ahead and say the actual list of the nominations that will happen. So, I believe the nominations. I was trying to go in order, but I can't quite find it right now. So, so one of you can talk right now. Go ahead.
So do you actually do that stuff?
What?
You said Wilhelm says a certain thing.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no. Earlier, and he was asking about Rodri's age, and I said I don't think he's that old. He just looks very mature, which it makes sense. I mean,
Oh, you say that a lot.
it's a nice way of saying somebody looks older than their actual age without telling them they look old.
Oh, okay. And you, okay. I was just wondering what context you said in.
Okay, wait. Sorry. Before everybody says anything, let me go ahead and say the rankings in the order. So, first it was Rodri for Man City. Second was Vinicius Jr. Real Madrid. Third was Jude Bellingham for Real Madrid. Fourth was Dani Carvajal for Real Madrid. Fifth was Erling Haaland for Man City. Sixth was Kylian Mbappe for PSG/Real Madrid. Seventh was Lautaro Martinez for Inter Milano. Eighth is Lamine Yamal for Barcelona, while 17 years old in 8th place. Damn. Ninth is Toni Kroos for Real Madrid. 10th is Harry Kane for Bayern München. 11th is Phil Foden for Man City. 12th, Florian Wirtz for Bayern Leverkusen. 13th is Dani Olmo for RB Leipzig and Barcelona. 14th was Adamel Lukman for Atalanta. 15th was Nico Williams for Athletic Club. 16th is Granit Xhaka for Bayern Leverkusen. 17th place is Federico Valverde for Real Madrid. 18th is Emiliano Martinez, the goalkeeper for Aston Villa. 19th is Martin Odegaard for Arsenal. 20th is Hakim Çalhanoğlu for Inter Milano. 21st place, sorry, I'm a little flustered right now, was Bukayo Saka for Arsenal. 22nd is Antonio Rudiger for Real Madrid. 23rd is Ruben Dias for Man City. 24th is William Saliba for Arsenal. 25th is Cole Palmer in 25th place for Chelsea. Cool. 26th place is Declan Rice for Arsenal. 27th place is Vitinha for PSG. Almost done, guys. 28th is Alejandro Grimaldo, not Garnacho, for Bayern Leverkusen. And Matt Hummels for Dortmund. AC Roma tied with Alejandro Grimaldo. Then Artem Dobrik for Girona/AC Roma. I can breathe now. Okay. Well, yeah, you go ahead, guys. Say whatever you want to say. That was way too much. Please talk so I can breathe.
So
I have no accusations to make.
Okay, fantastic.
I think the only thing that I was going to say in regards to Ballon d'Or voting is what you and I were discussing earlier, hosts, which was I cannot believe Cole Palmer was so low on the list. In all seriousness, because if we're talking about the very definition of the award, right? It's supposed to be about an individual's ability contributes to the team as well as how well they perform themselves, right? And the reality is, Rodri is in the Man City side that really nourishes his style of play and brings out his best qualities, including with Hispania, right? But you look at Palmer, especially last year with Chelsea, and I mean, Chelsea was in absolute shambles last season. They were so inconsistent. There was so little cohesiveness among the players. They lacked any sort of identity, and yet somehow through all of that, he still managed to play so well, and on so many occasions, really pulled Chelsea, out of the depths and managed to get them a Conference League spot, which, given everything that happened, was pretty impressive in my opinion. So the fact that he was so low, I mean, I felt that was a little bit criminal, honestly, but I guess to each their own.
Coming from a Bayern fan, by the way. Oof.
Yeah, exactly, because the reality is last year, in all seriousness, Bayern didn't have one player that was Ballon d'Or level at all. So, which is unusual to say because usually we have somebody that kind of stands out, but it's definitely been a couple seasons. So, and as somebody who's kind of been following Palmer for a bit from his time at Man City until now, the reality is he just keeps getting better and better. And the thing is he's doing this at a young age in one of the toughest leagues on the planet. So that says a lot about his quality as a player, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Typical Gemini. Polino, anything you want to say about any of the winners? They deserve it? Not deserve it?
I mean, I think that some of the rankings were definitely off. I would probably put Palmer where Florian Wirtz was, and then I'd also put Florian Wirtz up into the top 5 probably. I mean, I think he had the biggest team achievement on the list, and I also think that out of pretty much anyone on the list besides maybe Palmer, he was probably the most integral to a single team. I mean, you saw what happened last year. Basically, Florian Wirtz was playing so many matches and he was getting kind of tired. So they just people wonder, oh, how is Leverkusen winning all these matches so late? Well, they would bring Florian Wirtz on in the 65th minute and they basically win the match in the last 30 minutes every single time. And I don't know. I don't think he's gotten enough credit for that. And I think a lot of this kind of stuff is happening because of a lot of media, I think, is actually controlled by Twitter, like how fans on Twitter speak. So, for example, if Real Madrid or Barcelona want their guy to win the Ballon d'Or, they'll say, oh, this guy isn't, like, instead of giving Wirtz a bunch of credit and pushing him higher in everyone else's ratings for like something like a Ballon d'Or, they'd be like, oh no, this guy's contributing too. This guy's contributing too. And kind of put the efforts as a collective and take the credit away from an individual player. And I think that's a lot of what happened throughout the last season. And people started saying like, oh no, Florian Wirtz isn't the best player in Leverkusen. It's Grimaldo. No, it's Frimpong, until they started seeing Frimpong play. And yeah, I think that took a lot of the spotlight away from Wirtz up until maybe this new Bundesliga season. But they're not as good as they were last season so far. So he might not get that credit that he deserves to push him up to where I think he could have been the actual debate to win the whole prize. And then as for Carvajal, it's like the same thing as Jorginho. Jorginho should have never been up even in like the top 20 for the year that he was third. And same for Carvajal. Carvajal had a good year, even a very good year for himself. But I don't think he was the best fullback. I think he was a good top 5 fullback at minimum, probably top around number 3. I don't think he was better than DeMarco. I don't think he was better than Grimaldo. And I don't think anyone would debate you on that. They would just say that DeMarco and Grimaldo were wingbacks. But even then, I think they were much better than him on the whole for the year. So I don't think he deserved to be anywhere near 4. And it's just another example of if a player wins a bunch of achievements, they're like, oh, he has to win, right? Where maybe the player's performance isn't given enough or taken enough into account, or the player's overall effectiveness.
Yeah, okay, fair enough, mate. Well, everybody, that was indeed the Ballon d'Or 2024. And yeah, let us now move on to a great time right now, which is indeed the football memes of the week, which is the best memes in the football world for the week. Yeah, brought to you by Ravel Bantas. So this is Anthony, who is our current mascot. So let's see our first meme. So the Ballon d'Or has a list of criteria to win it. So this says the Ballon d'Or is awarded based on the 3 main criteria: individual performances, decisiveness, and impressive character. Number 2, team performance and achievements. Number 3, class and fair play. Someone tweeted to reply to this saying, losing the Ballon d'Or simply because you were a piece of shit is crazy. Oh, Vinny, man, come on. But then again, Rodri had some shaky moments. He did choke someone out in Nottingham Forest earlier this year, or it was end of last year, so nobody's perfect. Nobody's worth it. That's Hannah Montana. All right, on to the next news, which is indeed about Mr. Eric Ten Hag. Oh, yeah. Yes, thank you, Eric Ten Hag, for the memories you have given us. He had this quote, I admire them both, but eras come to an end. He was talking about Liverpool and Man City. Ooh. And then also there was a battering of Liverpool 7-0 against Manchester United. And then it was 0-3 for Liverpool in Manchester. And then again, it was 0-3 for Liverpool in Manchester again. Okay, well, Eric Ten Hag, bless your soul. All right, we love you. On to the next meme, which is the last meme with Anthony. It is about Mr. Lamine Yamal. And yes, Arsenal Times tweeted this. Lamine said this in an interview. It's a great experience after the Clasico, by the way. He said this. It's a great experience when your own fans are louder than the home team's fans. In an opponent's stadium, it's incredible. And someone tweeted this to reply to that. He said, Messi region with Maradona's attitude. For F's sake, he might go nuclear. So yes, we love the shithousery from Lamine Yamal. That was absolutely great. Well, yeah. Okay, well, guys, you know what this means? We're on to something great. Something amazing. Something spectacular. This is not me stalling. Everybody, welcome to the Golden Goal Show Football Quiz. where we talk about the football quiz and everything about it. So let's get into the news.
Hi, everyone and everybody to the Golden Goal Show football quiz. Aye, Suey. The guests will answer a series of football-related questions to test their Alpha, Beta, Sigma knowledge in football. So whoever has the most correct questions answered by the end of the quiz wins an all-inclusive tropical cruise with Big Benzema. Oh no. JKLOL Stinky, you get a crisp high five. Good luck, lads.
Lovely stuff. All right, well, everybody, we do have a quiz, and it's an interesting quiz, actually. Okay, this music is loud. We're going to go back to this. So, yes, are you all ready? This is a quiz about the Bundesliga and about Bayern and Dortmund. So, yes, lovely stuff. All right, question number 1. We're just going to have 3 questions. Matchday 27 Encounter 2023-24 will be what number edition in the Der Klassiker in the Bundesliga? So the Der Klassiker is Bayern between Dortmund. Will it be the 85th Der Klassiker, the 124th, the 110th, or is it 77th? Is it the 85th, 124, 110th, or 77th? You have 10 seconds.
It's gotta be the
124.
110.
Okay. The correct answer is indeed. Ooh. Oh. Sorry, God, that was weird. Yeah. The correct answer is indeed not the 77th. It is not the 85th. One of you got it very correct. It's in the hundreds. It is indeed the 110th. Congratulations, Mr. Good German guy. Paulinho, what are you doing? It's 1-0 for Good German guy. Next question. Number 2. How many goals did Harry Kane score in his first Klassiker? Was it 5, 1, 2, or 3? Did he score 5 goals, 1 goal, 2 goals, or 3 goals in his first Klassiker? 10 seconds.
It was 2.
I'll say 2. I don't actually know.
Okay. Well, the correct answer is indeed not 5. It is not 1. What did you say, Mr. Paulinho?
I said 2 as well.
Incorrect. Correct answer is indeed 3. He scored a hat-trick in his first Klassiker. Typical German way? What?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have thought I would have heard about that.
I don't, honestly, his performance must have been underwhelming or something because I do not remember even hearing about that or seeing it. So,
Okay, sorry. Okay, it's 1-0. Wow, that was weird. All right. Next question and last question. What Klassiker record does Kingsley Coman hold? Is it A, fastest goal by substitute? B, most shots in a game? C, most appearances without defeat? Or D, most penalties earned? Was it fastest goal by substitute, most shots, most appearances without defeat, or most penalties earned? 10 seconds.
I think it's
Wait, for
most
who?
Coman.
For Bayern.
For who? Coman?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, can you...
Fastest goal, most shots in a game, most appearances without defeat, most penalties earned.
most appearances without defeat.
Typical German guy. What do you say?
Knowing Coman's inaccuracies is probably most shots.
Okay. Well, one of you did get it correct. And wow, I guess we're going to be done soon. Correct answer or incorrect answers is most fastest goal by substitute and the most shots in a game. Correct answer is most appearances without defeat. Congratulations, Mr. Paulinho. It is 1-1 going into sudden death. Number 4. Who is the youngest goal scorer in Der Klassiker, age 17? If you get this right now, you win. I'm not even going to give you the answers. You got to guess
Tell.
it. Huh?
Oh, Mukoko. Mukoko.
Typical German guy?
I'm thinking, give me a second.
Brother.
Wait. Is it just first to say it, or do we... Like, can I just shout out answers? I've already said 2, I guess.
What'd you say for your first one?
I said Tell.
Yeah, I have no idea. So
Okay, then can I say another one?
Okay, well, I'm gonna give the list of answers. You gotta say it.
Okay.
Is it Musiala, Sahin, Kel, or Mokoko? Whoever says it first wins.
Musiala,
Coco.
Sahin.
Okay, you know what? That was a bullshit one. So, because you did get this first right, but then I was gonna list the answers. So, okay, let's try again. Let's try again. Whose cheek did Oliver Kahn famously nibble on in the 1999 Classica? Ooh, it's BDSM. All right, was it Pedri Bobic? Was it Hiko Harish? Was it Stefan Chopust? Or was it Andres Mola? Was it Bobic, Harlish, Chopust, or Moller? You have 10 seconds.
I'll say Muller.
I'm just gonna say Harlish because I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Well, one of you did get it correct, and one of you did win. The correct answer, just kidding. The incorrect answer is, what'd you say, Mr. Typical German guy?
Harlish.
What'd you say, Mr. Polino?
I said Muller, but what was the answer to the last one?
Mokoko.
Oh my god.
I said that.
And I know, but the thing is,
That's
Polino said first Kel, then he said Mokoko, so he said the second one. So if he just said Mokoko first, he would have won. But he said Tel first, so that's why I had to do that. Sorry about that. Let's. But yes, one of you did get it correct here. It is not Fedri Bobic. Is it not Steven Chapsat? It is not Andres Muller, which means the correct answer was Hiko Hatters, which means the winner is typical German guy. Honestly, I kind of feel bad by this. You think it'd be better if we did one more question to make it fair? I got a feeling I did Paulina dirty. Yeah.
Aren't you always doing Paulinho dirty?
Whoa. I mean, besides like the last few days.
True.
And
Well, then the correct winner is typical German guy. How do you feel, mate?
I feel fantastic. Ich bin aufregend.
Oh, you're pregnant. Congratulations. Well, you're fantastic. All right. Well, everybody, that was a great answer from typical German guy. But yes, welcome. Well, that's not the start of the show. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show. It was great stuff, and yeah, hope everybody had a nice time watching it. Yes, Mr. Polino, thank you for joining, mate. Thank you for being on as always. You are such a beautiful man.
I don't know how to take that, but you as well. How did you enjoy it actually, host?
Fantastic. I've never had so much fun in my life. I am smiling ear to ear. Lovely. All right, well, Wilhelm, this is everyone. Thank you for joining as well. Lovely stuff for you.
Yeah, so it's always a pleasure to be on the show. To go on my miniature rants that I never get to go on. So
Okay.
good to be here.
Love that. Okay, well, everybody, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share it. Without sharing it, how else are you going to know that there's 10 things, yes, Paulinho, that is going to make us happy, and Vinny will show us. But everybody, as we say on the show, oh, I was about to say something else. But yes, as we say on the show, in 3, 2, 1,
One love,
love,
football.
football. Thank you guys for watching, and bye. Tschüss.